1.
There it is.
Or did it really start if we didn't snap our fingers?
It did start. So, hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. I got a little bit of deja vu going on. It's like we've done this before, maybe once or twice.
Well, not with this episode.
No, but this, going live at this time and seeing your face and seeing the chat and, very much deja vu going on.
Over a year now as well. Because I'd drunk live last time and such. Yes, we have returned, Ned, for the reappearance of the Almighty. Well, this Almighty. The Q, Mr. Q.
Yeah, and I was very happy to watch this one today. Really enjoyed this one. So, yeah, looking forward to chatting about it.
And how many? This is his third or the fourth appearance?
Third.
Yeah. Now, I'm including Farpoint as one story because that's just easier for math.
Yeah. If you go episodes and you break it up into 2 for the first one, then fourth episode. But yeah, same appearance. So
yeah, exactly same story. Now it's a little bit weird in the context of this episode just to start off with, because obviously I say that because them at the time, he is genuinely basically a murderous nuisance. To us, we've got every episode after this, so we see him as Q, not what they see him as. It was, you've got to sort of remember that he was actually an antagonist villain at this point, closer to, in the trickster sense, but he always kills people every time in one form or another.
Does he, though? I was going to say, murderous, I don't think it would be used to describe Q at all.
The gas killed the person in Farpoint, and then he gets someone stabbed in the pig one. I think one person dies as a showing of what happened. And obviously, gets people stabbed and is mean, and he lets people die with Riker's power. And there's lots of death that follows his appearances. At least just say that. It's always, in the 2 appearances, death follows.
But I always got the view that those were people that he created, first of all, in some cases, and secondly, once he disappears, everything kind of gets set to rights, because they never really
the gas didn't. He was dead for ever.
Which gas are we talking about?
In Farpoint, no, you will not do that. Frozen, dumph. The guy gets frozen. He's always dead.
We don't know that, I guess. I mean, he could have came back. Who knows? It's Q. Anything's possible. They don't treat him like he's murdered members of their crew, though. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm just saying, like, the context is slightly darker than you remember after. Like, later on, he's in a bath with Janeway and he's get punched in a boxing ring by Cisco. So the context is very different now than it was. But you can't really look back as how they saw it, though. Because even in this episode, you can tell he shifted quite drastically.
Anyway, hope you guys watched the episode. We have 50 people here right now. Everybody hit that like button right away. Let's get that done. To get up to 50 likes right off the hop would be great. Jeff would like that, I'm sure. As would we.
It does help the algorithm, you see.
And we also got some good super chats to start, so we'll get rid of those right away.
We'll celebrate them. Let's not say get rid of. We'll celebrate them and say thank you, guys.
Get them off our plate.
Sure. Okay.
Ozzy Maderos. $20. That's a great way to super chats. Thank you very much, Ozzy.
Thank you.
All hail the great commander and super Captain Foley. Remember, guys, the commander's birthday is on Sunday. Sketch hand. I guess skeleton hand has evolved to sketch hand, or autocorrect to fix the situation. Thank you, Ozzy. Olivia Julius, $10. Remember, kids, if you get thrown out of being a Q, you will be stripped naked 10 feet in the air and allowed to say 2 words before being thrown to the ground like a sack of potatoes. This is the way.
But those two words have really got to mean something, And you can get demoted from human to chimp if they're not good words. You can get judged. It's a double judge. Wouldn't that be hilarious, though, if there was like a scene where the other Q is in the full judge robes and Q appears in the Q court? Like, wouldn't that have been fun? Like it's just and every Q in the in the every who was a survivor of the apocalypse is also John Delancey, because every Q looks like Q, but they're not Q. It's like Andromeda. Everyone looks like Trance mostly because it's easier to do. That'd have been kind of a fun, expensive scene, but fun.
Olivia Julius, $2. Hashtag don't take off a doctor. Yeah, she wasn't very nice to him.
Oh yeah.
Feepaw Swiftback, $2. The guy was defrosted and recovered in Farpoint. Okay.
I don't remember that, but okay.
Yeah. Eugene, 500 rubles. So many fun and memorable dialogues, moments, scenes, and memes. Yeah, there's a lot of meme content from this one. Data laughing, Picard's facepalm kind of thing.
I forgot that was from this one, yeah.
Yeah, so did I. But yeah, good to know where those came from, and it was nice to see those. So
cool, yeah. And I will start sharing.
Okay, please do. Yeah. So guys, yeah, everybody hit like. 72 of you here now, which is great, and good to see you guys. Consider joining the channel so you get some cool, especially if you join the lives. Like I said before, you get a lot of cool stuff as far as stickers and emojis and stuff go when you join the channel, and it helps us out on a regular basis. So if you can do so, please do. Otherwise, super chats are a great way to help us out. As you guys know, Jeff Jacobs just put one in of $2.50. I am so happy. I've wondered, can we do 100? Yes, we definitely can, Jeff. So yeah, super chats are a great way to help us out as well, as is going to Patreon/Trekyards and joining us there, which is basically a monthly thing, which helps us on a monthly basis, which makes a huge difference, kind of a good backbone for what the content we provide. So you can also head over to Trekyards.com, click the donate button. That'll send you to PayPal. You can also send PayPal if you like. Just let us know in the chat that you sent that, and we will read your comment or question on the air via the email once that's been sent. So just let us know if that's what way you prefer to do it. We can do that as well. And of course, all the regular content down below as far as Teespring store with the Trekyards merchandise. Again, lots of great stuff, and I love seeing the Trekyards merchandise kind of out in the wild when people buy something and send us a picture, and it's really awesome to see. So we really appreciate that. So if you can, get some Trekyards merch and support us that way, just by advertising Trekyards with your mug or your phone case or your shirt or your blanket or your banner or we got a bunch of cool stuff over there. Go check it out. There's links down below in the description of every video. So always lots of great ways to support your favorite YouTubers, which hopefully we are on that list. We do got our regulars here all the time, which is great. Love seeing you guys. And hopefully we get to see more of you on a regular basis. So, but yeah, we look forward to many more TNG reviews. And of course, when Discovery Season 3 comes out, also Picard Season 2, Lower Decks, Strange New Worlds. There's a lot of great stuff coming up. And we're going to be here for you guys to break it down, talk about it, and just have a good discussion overall. So we're going to be here through all that for you guys, and you can help us stay here and maintain our awesomeness.
Hello. 61 likes, 81 people. That's cool.
Yeah. Cool.
So
all right.
Stuart, what's your overall full, well, no, not full, we're saving up for the end review. And is this episode any different to how you remember it now going in and looking at it properly?
No. This is exactly what I remember. Well, actually, I forgot about a lot of the moon plot or the asteroid moon thing. I'd forgotten that was really a thing. But it was cool to have that as well. It kind of broke up the story, and it was a nice tie-in. Remember, first time watching it, you're like, is Q responsible? Is this all a test? Because he's tested them before. And, having not seen any other appearances of Q, first time.
Also, remember, he did appear in the Borg episode. That was the fourth appearance. This is the fourth one.
That was his second appearance, though. That was Q who?
Farpoint, the one where he gives Riker powers, Borg, and then this, so forth.
Oh.
Yeah, just a disclaimer for earlier, we missed a one. Also one where people die.
He already gave Riker the powers? I thought that was later.
That was season 1.
Oh. Okay, well there you go then.
It wasn't
but yeah.
Remember, she's in Penalty Box, and she absolutely flirts with Denise Crosby flirts with Picard, and it's just like, dude,
yeah,
you said
right.
You're my dad, and then the next sentence, can I bang you? It's like, what are you saying? But that was 2 years ago. Sorry, I just wanted to disclaim. People might have said, but no, fourth words.
You're right. I forgot about that. I thought that was later for some reason. I didn't think Tasha was in that. Anyway, oh, that's where he makes another person a Q, and she's standing on the outside of the ship on the secondary hull.
That's later. That's,
yeah, that's the one. That's when I was got
season.
good. Okay, gotcha. All right.
Well, she was already a Q, but I don't know.
Well, yeah. God damn.
So,
stop.
what do you think of this episode? Sorry.
It's good. It's fun. Like it's been pointed out already, there's a lot of great dialogue and funny moments in this. Nothing better than seeing somebody that's omnipotent being turned human and learning what that's about. Like, oh, I think I have back pain. Oh, I can't get up. My stomach hurts now. I mean, it's really good stuff. And then to see Guinan again kind of have the high ground, or the upper hand, if you will, because Q is no longer omnipotent was nice. And then also the whole Data teaching him about humanity. I love how like Picard kind of assigns Q to Data, which is neat. Yeah. The robot teaching a course in humanity. I'm not a robot. I'm an android. Whatever. That was great to see. So, but yeah, I remember the first time watching it wondering if it was a test, if he did have powers the whole time. I was just messing with them to see how they dealt with the situation. And, but now knowing that wasn't the case, yeah, it was fun. I really like this episode. Plus there's some great visuals as well. So, digging it.
Yeah. A lot of that stuff, obviously. It's one that there is not really a story in this episode. It's more just John Delancey long scenes with filler in between. In essence, there isn't a story this week. They had an idea and they padded around it. So that was one thing I took away from this one. There is no story. Like there is, but it doesn't matter. It's not. Who the hell cares? You know, even though it's reasonably well done, but it does not about that. Which was whatever. It's about John Delancey. And what impressed me, well, he's used as a crutch this week. I mean, he's in every good scene, but the way they use him, especially, and you can see the filmmaking techniques change this week, because the best way of having Delancey and the cast work is having them play off each other, allowing those moments that you can't just do, close up, mid shot, close up. There's so many long takes, so many walk and talks that go on for a while that the actor is allowed to act. And it feels different. That's why it feels like a lot like the same scene again and again and again. Like just part 1, part 2, part 3. It's just lots of long scenes with John Delancey talking. But that's where he's shining really, really well. And obviously the writer knew exactly how to write Q to a T, like pitch perfect.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that actually, because the scenes do kind of go from one room to the hallway to the next room. It's kind of like one continuous scene. Because lately, I've been with my notes. I've been breaking up every time there's a scene change. I just put a space or two so I know there's a new scene. Because a lot of times I would read something from the next scene thinking it was in that scene. So I want to fix that. And this one, I found that got a lot of because there was really, even though there was kind of a scene break, there wasn't. So yeah, I know what you mean by that. So.
I mean, this is almost like better as a short trek, in a sense. Just make it the Delancey short trek that's 15-20 minutes. It's like, that would be just gold standard,
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Data stuff is excellent. And I'm kind of impressed how much Q listens to Data. He doesn't dismiss him. I know he feels vulnerable, but especially when you talk about chocolate and stuff, people often stop Data from talking. He lets him just ramble, and he's genuinely interested. So it shows you how much, without his powers, Q is vulnerable and feels like, I want to learn. So I thought all that was super well played. I thought Guinan was a bit too mean. I know there's context, but she's just a mean lady. Yeah. I'd have I have sympathy for Q over her in this situation, but obviously, they're both villains to each other. I mean, there's not much you can do, really. It's like Gul Dukat and Garrick, in a sense. Like, they're always going to be mean to each other when they see each other. The moon thing, I remember even the first time watching it, I never thought Q had his powers. I never once thought that he was behind it. I always thought it was just, oh my god, and then the ending's nice. I never thought it was a trap. Because just, Delancey's so good at acting, I was like, no, I buy this. Because you can kind of tell the manipulation in him versus just him being him. And a very subtle thing at the end, which I never caught before, but Picard says maybe we've made him, he's taking a bit of humanity with him. I think this is something that just changed the character, because now he's had to feel feelings, as he said, now I feel remorse, things he
Yeah.
don't feel. And as he's still had to keep his memories of being Q, he's able to keep his memories of being a human while being Q. And this is why he's forever neutered a bit to him being such a menace, because he's now felt feelings, which I never considered. But yeah, this is a drastic change of his personality.
Yeah, and then and he understands their struggle for trying to fix this moon and whatever, and he gives them that nice gift at the end where the moon's back to a perfect orbit.
And he doesn't want credit; he just does it.
Yeah,
it's normally, but
yeah. Because he saw how much they cared and how much they were working towards it, even though he was kind of annoyed with the situation.
Well, Stuart, just change the damn gravity of the universe. Come on!
Yeah, well, I mean, that's how it's done, right? Yeah. Well, we got 2 more super chats.
Oh, brilliant.
No, number one special puts in $2. Y'all don't have any cases for my phone. Pop socket? No. Question mark. Well, the cases that they're only what's available from Teesprings. You can get them on anyone, so I don't know which phone you have specifically. Sorry about that. And Pop Socket's a different company. Teespring doesn't have any Pop Socket things, so don't have any of those, unfortunately. So
we almost have.
But thanks for the interest.
Didn't you get some Pop Sockets sent?
No.
So they never ended up arriving then. Oh.
No, I just got a black pop socket. I would just put a Trekyards sticker on it, if anything. I don't know if I have one that small, though.
Yeah.
But James, plus, it spins. So I don't know if I want it to, like... I'd always have to make sure it's the right way up for me.
I've never understood pop sockets. They just appeared one day, and I'm like, just hold your damn phones, please.
I never wanted one. And when you're filming, it's so easy to hold onto your phone with this.
Okay.
It comes in super handy. Plus, when you're watching something, it sets it at the right angle. I never thought I'd want one either, but I finally got one, and I've had it on ever since because it's actually a lifesaver.
It's super annoying to go out of your pocket every day.
No, you get used to it. It doesn't catch or anything after a while. That's one reason I didn't want to have it. But James McGill throws in $5.
Thank you.
Greetings, higher level of life forms, aka birthday dudes. If you guys had Q powers, what changes in Trekverse would you do? Like our version of Trekverse, or like actually in Star Trek?
Well, I assume in canon.
Oh, well, in canon, that's no fun. I want to snap Kurtzman out of existence.
Well, no,
and
just
do a few other things.
All you do is download all of genuine all of the Trek knowledge into his brain, like all the shows. So he probably hasn't watched 3/4 of the shows, and it's like, oh, we can't do this in the writer's room because that doesn't make sense. Oh no! And everyone looks at him saying, Alex, do you just quote canon at us? Yes. Well, stop it. I can't. We can't do this. It makes no sense. That'd be great to have him like change his entire personality based on canon.
And he's got to say, you are all fired because you know nothing about Star Trek. I want people that know Star Trek well. We're going to hire a whole new team of writers and creators and get the designers back. And yeah, there we go. That's what I would do. No, I would blink him out of existence and make Trek just good.
Thanks for the birthday comment. Appreciate it.
Dementia puts in $5.
Thank you.
Picard's treatment of Q never changes, godhood or no. Yep, pretty much.
It would have been nice if... I know, obviously, he becomes friendlier with Janeway, but it would have been nice if they had some sort of evolution to be more like friends and communicate. I know Tapestry is the closest you're going to get, but it would more maybe like a 5th movie with John Delancey where they could actually work together on something. Because, it's a little bit boring in this episode just to watch Picard be negative the whole time. Like, I get why, but it's not new. It's not interesting. It's just okay. That's why Data's the perspective character. It would be nice if we'd seen that Tapestry as I was closest, but
yeah. Well, they do that in the comics and stuff. If you follow the Q comics, or not the Q comics, but the Q comics where he shows up, there's a good crossover with the JJ verse and the Prime universe and stuff.
Yeah, I've read a little bit of that with DS9. Yeah.
Eugene throws in 250 rubles. Go to the root of the cause. Snap JJ out. Well, yeah, he'd go too, for sure. But I don't think he's the root of the cause.
Or you don't make Enterprise, you make a sequel show, and therefore not create show fatigue. That goes for 7 years, and you then decide to make the DS9 and Voyager movies, make them cinema releases, And then you start doing those movies, and then suddenly have 2 movie franchises, or 3 movie franchises, TNG, Voyager, and DS9, all ending in a crossover with all 3 of those, plus the new show, in an epic Marvel-style 2-part movie. And Marvel's like, wow, you did that 30 years earlier, or in the 2000s. See? Easy.
Well, don't get rid of Enterprise. Make Enterprise fit more into canon. Have Daedalus class ships and stuff being seen and stuff like that. I mean, you know.
I think it would still have crashed and burned. If you're going to make Enterprise, make it in the Romulan War. Start in the war that everyone, and make the tech much closer to TOS. Because why go back? There was no creative reason to go back, so don't go back.
This sounds like a live all on its own, how we would fix Star Trek and what we would have done if we had Q powers.
Yeah.
Ozzy Medeiros throws in another $20. Thank you, Ozzy. You're awesome.
Too much awesome, but we love it.
When Q comes, he is awesome. Skeleton hands. I wish they had more episodes with Q versus Cisco. Yeah, their dynamic just wasn't the same feeling. That's why I don't think it happened. But you don't want to, just you can't be friends with all the captains.
Well, and Cisco's just a hard ass. Like especially against a Q. Like, you can't see Q get emasculated many times. It doesn't work. That's why Q and Janeway were so interesting, because they had such a varied chemistry. Yeah, that was interesting.
Cool.
But yeah, there you go. So, Stuart, we begin with the padding, sort of. And is this the same asteroid as the one that we commented? Oh, it's a good asteroid. Because it feels different, but that could just be color grading. But it would make sense if you're going to build an asteroid, use it more than once. Hence why it looked so good. Because they were like, oh, we're going to need 2 in a row. We can afford 2 and 2. Probably the same asteroid.
Don't know if it's the same one. Anyway, we started out finding that this planet's in danger because there's a descending asteroidal moon. So small moon, a very small moon, but it's descending towards the planet. Fleet Boss Swiftback throws in $2. Dang. I'm not Picard. Yeah.
Yeah.
We also get that the asteroid is made up of a ferrous crystalline structure. So it's not going to break up in the atmosphere, which is bad because it's going to hit, a piece of the western continent, 800 kilometers square crater, and then all the shit that goes with that: tsunamis, earthquakes, dust clouds, which they talk about in a minute. But
I think they also say it's the moon. Like, this isn't just a moon; this is the moon for them. Yeah. And they said already it getting closer, it's causing a huge tidal wave. 8 meters. So it's like it's being bad the whole time. But it's not necessarily dinosaur level, but. Because they don't quite say all life will be... They stay away from saying everyone's going to die, even though it's implied heavily.
Well, they say we'll be entering an ice age. So
yeah, close enough,
Yeah. And I love how it's Riker that says, can we blow it to pieces? They're like, well, that'll make things worse. There'll be a lot of smaller ones hitting the planet. I would expect Worf to say that line. Could we destroy it with phasers?
Well, it's logical if those things will burn up, but yeah. And I got to give them credit. As a one-off alien, these are a pretty memorable looking alien. I think it's also the costume as well, and the whole look. Especially
the mouth when they're talking is really weird because it doesn't really have lips. It's very effective.
For a one-off, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And then they, just like a ant, they try and tractor beam it, and it does nothing. Like a little bit. It's like, oops.
They have 29 hours till impact, first of all. So, because the ticking clock.
Yep.
They're wondering whether they can nudge it out of the way. And they're like, well, it would exceed the tractor beam and impulse safety limits. And like an ant pushing a tricycle. Weird analogy, but okay.
They have tricycles still?
I guess. They say there's a slim chance at best that it'll work.
And it is certainly... I love the scaling of these space shots showing you... Like, instantly that's not going to work. Like, you just... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So things.
But you have hope. You have hope.
Yeah, but then suddenly, John Delancey's genuine naked wiener is flashed to the entire cast. It was a closed set that day. They put him on this green screen table thing, and he said, "Yes, I'll be nude." So everyone saw his John Thomas that day.
Yes. Anyway, shows up and basically falls to the floor, which I forget what he says though. I didn't write it down.
Red alert.
That's what Q says?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
You're kind of gleeful, like, I'm here,
Oh.
hello.
Jill 47 is here, and he wore a sock, no doubt.
I don't know, well, maybe, but I've heard the story that he didn't.
Yeah, from Doug, I think.
Yeah. He was like,
And
I'm
Jill.
fine for this, I'll just do it.
And Jill, I'm disappointed. Your name is Jill 47. We were taking bets in the live chat beforehand what your name would be for this episode. What did I say it would be? Where is it here? Dun, dun, dun. Okay. I said, eat any good books lately. I assumed that's what your name would be. But I guess I'm wrong, so boo.
But yeah, it's a very, very abrupt pre-title. It right turns you with no warning, and you're just like, oh! And then it goes to titles. It's like, oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. So then we find out after the main titles, Q's not on the bridge anymore. But Geordi's talking to Picard, and he says, we're short on time and power. So, it didn't work. But, sorry, Q is on the bridge. He's just dressed now. And then Picard comes down and says, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing this? These people, why do you want to terrorize people? We find out he doesn't have any powers. They say I cause chaos wherever I go. So that's one of the reasons he got his powers taken away.
Mm-hmm. I like the what are you on about? Who are these people? I don't know. What? Like, I love Delancey's choice of acting. He's dismissive, but in not a mean way. He's just like...
Yeah. He's like, what's going on? Oh, yeah, no, it's not me.
But also don't care, but also hello.
And he chose the form of human because Picard is basically the closest he has to a friend.
And that's what he says.
Data scanned him with a tricorder and says he's reading as fully human, which made me wonder where the tricorder came from. It would be cool if they had like a tricorder slot in the side of the...
Well, we've seen
you would think so, but we never really see it though.
Well, they pulled tricorders from nowhere, so...
It could be one of the drawers on the side of the bridge. Those panels come off, and supposedly there's equipment in there, maybe. So
I could just see it underslung, like like his guns and holsters underneath. It's a tricorder. It's like, hey, I got a tricorder.
That'd be cool.
And then when he says Picard is the closest thing after a friend, Picard's face like, what? Because I mean, it's a bit sad, but also, no, that's nice. Although it does mean, the hero of our tale is in essence the most important person in the universe because he's the only friend that Q has.
Yeah.
It's cute. And I mean, as a grounding for the story, that's great that he chose to be human because I know obviously there's a secondary layer, but in essence it's because he knows he can trust these people as far as he can throw them anyway. And this is a safer bet, this is a pleasant bet, this is, he understands this, at least as far as he can from an omnipotent point of view. So I like this, it's not a punishment in, the fact that he's chosen it is all the narrative needs to make him go along with it. If it was a punishment and he's like, oh, I don't want to be here, he'll get tiresome, I think, very quickly of his acting. Because he wants to be there, or at least wants to be there, you get this nice going into the story much quicker. So I thought it was a very, very smart choice.
Yeah. I love the conversation, though. He wants, I want your compassion, he says, or at least sanctuary on the ship. What must I do to convince you people that I don't have any powers? Die. Oh, very clever, Worf. Eat any good books lately?
No. He hasn't. He's been busy trying to fire torpedoes and being told not to.
Picard says, throw him in the brig. Worf, escort him down to the brig. So,
with pleasure. He is thoroughly happy to do that.
So then we get a walk and talk with him and Worf, and he's like, I should have said Klingon. Well, first of all, they get in the turbo lift, and he's like, I'm claustrophobic. Yeah.
It's a great walk around, even though he totally walks past Worf once, and yet doesn't walk past Worf. I don't know how they did that. I mean, obviously, Worf moved.
Jill, I saw you change your name. That's awesome. Yeah.
It's a very good use of a set that we've never seen used that way, using space. Because again, Delancey needs long scenes to best use him. And they give him that. Yeah, first walk and talk.
Well, first, we should point out, too, that the face palm for Picard is when he was talking about compassion or, wanting sanctuary on the ship.
Well, no, he said he's your friend, best friend.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I like Delon saying, Q saying, I'm really a Klingon, Worf. Maybe I should have been one, but I'm really a Klingon. As warriors together, we should totally do. And Worf's like, no, this is my fun time now. You're going to prison. This is my reward for years.
So he puts him in the brig, and why don't you believe me that I don't have any powers?
Yeah.
Well, you've fooled us many times. Oh, please, don't feel compelled to tell me the story of the boy who cried Worf. And then Worf goes to leave, and he's like, let me out immediately. Romulan! And Worf pauses for a second, and just, yeah.
Yeah.
If you were any other man, I would kill you where you stand. No.
If you're anything but a man, I could not kill you where you stand. But yeah, it's, good Q being Q. Not really much more to say. It's just them honestly being good.
But now we're in the ready room, and talking about whether it's a trick or not, whether he actually does have powers. And Picard's like, well, we have to carry on like he doesn't. So, and then they talk to the people on the planet and say, yeah, our first attempt failed, so sorry about that. And then all of a sudden there's a bright white light, and they're being probed with baritol radiation. Go on the bridge. And yeah, we got a scan of the ship going on. Something comes up and checks out Q in the brig.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought right there he got attacked, but I was wrong. So,
Well, it was the scouting party.
Yeah.
And one subtle thing here that is, only if you sort of know what's going on, if you watch this scene, the actors don't have their eyes squinting for the light, which often does happen. So what they've done is they've actually changed the aperture on the lens and the ISO so that now the actual camera is brighter. So it's a purely in-camera effect. Nothing's changed for them. It's just bright. And that's why the blacks are really bright and the whites are really blown out. I've never seen them do that before. Normally they just put light on the set and everyone's like, ah. But it's such a good way of having an effect without having an effect, because they just change the setting on a camera and then undid it. It's a very... Because look, they're not squinting at all, and obviously that much light they would be. So it's just a very simple thing that I've never seen before. And if you want clean details of the blacks of the uniform, here you go. Here's a, that's as bright as it's ever going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then Picard goes down to the brig, and Q's like, oh, so you've come to apologize. No offense, all is forgiven. And then Picard says, the ship was just probed with baritol radiation. Do you know anything about that? No, something very strange happened to me earlier. I started to feel faint and weak, and then I lost consciousness. You fell asleep. Oh my God, how do you stand it? Yeah.
And explanatorvideos.com says, is this live? Yes.
Last time we checked. I mean, it's not really live for you. It's like there's a delay there, so...
This is live
for us.
Oh, we did turn on low latency so, just for games, so it's better than it could be.
Yeah.
But yeah, a good scene. I mean, there's a lot of Q experiencing life. And this is his sleep one.
James McGill throws in $2.
Thanks.
I've been scanned by that bright light on the freeway. A few times, yeah. Anyway, Q goes on to say, I'm an expert in these kind of things. I can help you. And Picard's like, Mr. Data to the brig. And he basically says, Mr. Data, you are hereby assigned to the Q for the remainder of his stay. And just as Picard's leaving the brig, Q's like, can I have a Starfleet uniform? To which Picard kind of pauses for a second and then just continues walking.
And Data looks blankly at him like...
Yeah.
And what do you think? He's like, nothing. I mean,
well then, yeah, I love Data's line here, though. You have achieved in disgrace what I've always aspired to be, becoming human.
Yeah, bittersweet line for sure.
Yeah.
But this is obviously a good scene, but it makes me wonder. In Stargate, they have ascended beings which are similar to some extent to the Q, and they can return to human form. Actually, return to an actual human form. They can fake it, but they can be real humans. But a human's brain can't withstand the knowledge of the universe. They're not able to do that. So it's intriguing that they're telling us here that Q can remember his Q knowledge. So while he can't necessarily access new information, he's got trillions of gigaquads of information in his brain. And so yes, he's a truly invaluable tool right now. Well, obviously he does help. Well, not necessarily with like math. I was expecting him to help more with something really genius. He gives a very simple solution, more what he would do without knowing the situation. If that makes sense, he was just giving like an old, I'll just change the universe. It's like, well, that's an obvious answer. It's not using quantum, it's whatever. But essentially, there's no caveat to that. It's like, I remember it all. It's like, oh, wow.
Well, he does at one point say his IQ's like an IQ of 2005.
A lot, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Genius, well, tell me what scale you're using. Genius can be like 160.
Yeah.
So.
And Data, this is actually a good start. And also Data can subdue him if he needs to as well.
Yeah. So they go for a walk. And
the uniform line's interesting as well, because that's... What is that telling us about Q's personality? He wants to wear a Starfleet uniform. Well, obviously he hates this outfit. But is that because he wants to pretend to be... Like, he wants to be an equal, therefore he thinks wearing a uniform, or he wants to fit in? Like, that was a distinct choice. It wasn't like, get me a, bandana and a cool outfit. I want a uniform.
Well, they make a jab at this uniform a few times in this episode. Even the other Q is like, kind of bland. But I would assume because whenever he comes in with captain's uniform on, right, or admiral, whatever. So he just wants to, I feel part of the team. I know you guys. I've hung out with you a few times. Come on, let me be on. I'm human now. I should just be part of the crew.
Team Starfleet.
Yeah, it's kind of got that thing going on.
And Ryan Linder says, how do you leave a super chat? Well, if you look at the chat either on your phone or the computer, at the bottom of the chat, there's a little dollar icon. Click that. It links to your Google, I believe. But I think you can link to PayPal as well, or credit card. It's quite flexible. And you put an amount. Depending on the amount you put on, you'll have a different colour and a different amount of things you can say in the super chat. And we'll read whatever you put in. But if you excuse me for a minute, I'll just post on the next scene. I'll let you... Well, okay. It's a good scene to...
We've got a super chat as well. We have a walk and talk first, so... Jarzia throws in $2 Canadian. I doubt a human brain could hold Q's full knowledge. I would tend to agree, but the human mind's pretty remarkable, so who knows. So we get a conversation about humans here. The human race has a desire for knowledge and to improve themselves. And Q's like, well, yeah, there's lots of room for improvement. So, so it's a nice little brief chat about being human. Dementia throws in $5. He wants a uniform so he can feel like he's part of something again. He just got kicked from his old team. Yeah. Good old gamer, don't we only use 10% of our brain? That's actually a myth. But yeah, we don't use the full potential of our brain, but 10% is not the correct number. And Jill says in SG-1 that amount of knowledge was actually killing Jack O'Neill. So there you go. I'll wait for Samuel to get back because the next scene is in engineering. And but yeah, guys, thank you for the super chat. You guys are doing great today. And I forget who asked about the super chat, but hopefully you can figure that out. It's a great way to help us out and have your thing read. So, Ryan Lindner, there's a little dollar sign down there at the bottom of the chat. And there's Samuel saying, click like. We need more likes. We have 118 likes. So they show up in engineering, and I don't know. Should I wait for you, Samuel? Let me know. I can just kind of go through the scene, and you can give your thoughts on it when you get back. Maybe we'll do that. Love the display of the asteroid that then changed to the regular Alcars. And they do a bunch of... there's a lot of, this is what we could do, technobabble. And then Delancey or Q's like, I think I just hurt my back. And then he says, well, the plan you just said, basically tear the moon to pieces, and your ship as well. Then they're wondering how this happened, how the moon got shifted from its orbit. And he says it's likely an object it was obviously caused by a large object passing through at a right angle to the plane of the star system, probably a black hole, which is what was responsible for throwing the moon out of orbit. And the easiest way to change it is change the gravitational constant of the universe. That's how you fix it. So there you go.
Yeah.
We're just coming up to the doctor part. So
yeah, no, it's just awesome that he helps. You know, there is definitely, while he still is Q, the ego-ness, he's lost the ego-ness. He hasn't lost the fight back, but he helps. Like, there's no reservation, there's no you help me, I help you. He's absolutely, okay, maybe he's focusing on other things as well, but he's absolutely helping. So I appreciate the way that he's portrayed very much as just a confused soul who does want to help in the abstract sense. And I love the fact that his solution is the thing that Geordi does, just on a smaller scale. Because I think the audience is meant to believe, oh, it's a glib answer, we'll move on. But as soon as Geordi, uses his own science brain to do it, I think the audience is meant to be like, okay, I like where this is going. So I think it's a pretty smart.
Yeah. Tenchi 2K7 puts in $5.
Oh, thank you.
Always loved Q episodes, even the not so great ones. John Delancey is so good. Yeah, he is. Anyway, so they call medical, and Beverly comes down. And the last time Q was on the ship, where he introduces them to the Borg, she wasn't on board. So the first thing he says is, "Oh, I see Starfleet has shipped you back into exile." Q says he's hurt his back. She scans him. Oh, he got muscle spasms. And he comments on her bedside manner because she's, not being gentle.
I mean, some people are neutral towards him, Geordi and Data, and Picard to some extent, but Beverly and Gunn are actually mean to him. Just they want to hurt him.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how mean she was to him. He's never really experienced pain before, so it could just be like a muscle spasm that she's just, I don't know if she's being actually.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can tell she's not trying to be nice, good bedside manner. She's not in doctor mode. She's in subtle, gentle vengeance mode.
I don't feel bad.
Does that hurt? Yes, of course it does. Good. Oh, so I mean, she's I'm sure she's remembering the time that she, almost ruined her son and almost killed him. But it makes sense. He's a menace to the entire universe. But it's a bit sad to see Beverly be a bit mean, and also a bit. So of all the things that Q would give him, back problems. This body's a new, fresh body. They programmed into this fresh new body back problems. It's such a random thing, but it's such a nice it's very relatable. It's good.
So Geordi's like, hey, this might actually work. We can wrap the moon in a low-level warp field and change its gravitational constant. Make it lighter so we can push it. It's like, okay, good plan.
Although it's weird that they didn't consider using the warp drive previously, because as soon as they said how do we move it, I was like, warp field. Something to do with warp field. I mean, obviously. It's weird.
But it's so huge, though. Remember when Deep Space Nine had to move out of orbit and they had to create a bubble around it? They're like, that's a large bubble. This is a moon, and it's very dense. It's got the weird material in it. So
it is, but it's also simple. There's only so many materials, whereas DS9 is a massive, interconnected industry machine, It's like moving one block of quartz versus one block of, mechanical parts. It'd be a different set of equations. I just thought something would be warp driving, and I'm glad I was right, but all that more just remember what happens. But yeah, yay, we can solve it. But turns out he maybe hurts, maybe doesn't.
Yeah.
Feels weird, and maybe he's
hungry. His stomach is in pain. I love her response. Maybe you're hungry.
And it is so nice to watch Delancey and Data, him humor Data. You can see them be odd friends. And this is the least Delancey being Q in the entire episode. but it's such a nice, gentle scene. You want to watch more of it. And it's just them ordering sundaes. Do you know what I mean? It's so just nice to watch. How positive, uplifting, and friendly, and TNG and Star Trek it is. You know, it's an android telling ex-god that ice cream is a good thing to make you feel better. According to his half-betazoid friend, Troy. You know what I mean?
What's he do? Yeah. So what's he do? He orders 10 of them because he's in a really foul mood.
I love the off-screen waitress lady. 10?
Yeah.
You heard me. It's like, wow. Cool.
And I've never eaten before, so I should be really hungry, right?
Sound logic to me. No, it's fun.
And then Guinan shows up and says, "Oh, well, you got drummed out of the continuum, eh? Just one of the boys. I'm one of the boys with an IQ of 2005. And so we're not sure if he's telling the truth." And she stabs him in the hand with a fork, which is really, really mean. Seems human enough to me. And then she goes on to say, you can learn a lot from this one, Q. Because Q says, I'll make up for all the bad things I've done. I'll become a missionary. And Data's like, that would be a good start. And Whoopi's like, well, you could learn a lot from this one, Q. Ah, yes, the robot that teaches a course in humanities. Mm-hmm. I am not an android. I'm not a robot. I'm an android. He's like, whatever. Mm-hmm. It's a fun little interaction. I like this scene. Yeah. Even though, Guinan's a little bit mean. But.
Yeah, I think I respect Guinan less now. Honestly, it almost is out of character. But given that she is such a 4-dimensional character, but I can't like her in this scene. You know.
Well, I mean, she's probably been tortured by the Q.
But also,
whatever.
He's scared of her. I mean, you can't know that's the problem. You know, if she just wants the opportunity to hurt him, and she does. That's it. So I just lost respect for her in this episode. But she's only in for this scene, so who cares anyway? You know.
Yeah.
But yes, and then, the saddest thing though, Stuart, is.
Yeah, what up?
He doesn't get to eat Sundays because I saw his Sundays and I'm on a diet. And I'm just like can we have those? Can we click them? Because that would be great.
They look really good.
Oh, Stuart, those server uniforms, not so great. Like, would you want to be wearing those? It's not so great.
No. But he says he's not hungry anymore.
That's a great line. So that's smart writing. That is simple, but it's a smart payoff to a. Yeah, it's good.
So back on the bridge, sensors are picking up a cloud of energetic plasma approaching. Mm-hmm. And then basically it attacks the ship, penetrates the hull in Deck 10 forward section. Yeah. And so they try increasing the shields. That doesn't work. So they try changing the shield harmonics, and that works. That actually. But meanwhile, down in 10 forward, poor Q is getting attacked by these beings. I love how he's like trying to push them off and stuff. It's,
and they call them Calamarain, or like I think it was Almarain.
Yeah, me too.
It's actually very distracting. As weird as that sounds. Almarain will hurt Q once. Almarain will hurt him twice. Almarain, he'll torture us for 5 years. But I've got to say, that view screen remastered cloud is gorgeous. However they did it is a beautiful effect. It's so organic and so whatever. Although it amazes me they didn't make as much of a thing of a intelligent, interdimensional, intergalactic, possibly alien energy life form being Cloud. That's quite a cool thing. They don't even. Oh, that's cool. So that's a really cool thing. But I mean, they're a bit pretty, but a beautiful effect, absolutely gorgeous.
Well, another thing I liked in this scene too was on engineering when Geordi's adjusting the shield and the modulation. He's hitting the buttons, and you got 3 little red things that were moving up and down, or moving up as he adjusted them, which was a nice interaction that you never really see. And it was just cool. I appreciated that.
One thing LeVar does is really good at actually pressing buttons.
Yeah.
Like actually pressing. He's not just. He's typing. He's using it. Pretty cool.
And when Q falls to the ground, he's like, "Oh, eh."
Yeah. So. And it's a very dramatic shift, especially since the whole episode is playing it sort of for laughs, and then starting to go and being tortured. I mean, that is a horrible little moment where he says it on the floor. That's genuine in the feels. It's, you know. But then also, how can you feel sympathy for him because he's been ostensibly a villain to hundreds of races, you know?
Yeah. So next thing, we're in the briefing room now. We can talk about the Calamarain. You tormented them. While one creature's torment is another's delight.
Oh, Stuart. Where did you go, Stuart?
No, I was serious. There we go. The connection's back.
Hello.
Anyway. So then they come to the conclusion that that's why he came to this ship specifically, because he wants protection from this and other creatures that he's tormented. And Riker's like, well, fighting all the species you've tormented would be a full-time job, and not the one I signed up for. And then Picard's like, how with it? We're going to turn you over to the nearest starbase and let them deal with you. And he's like, well, I could be a valuable member of your team.
I mean, how did you feel, though, when it's revealed that he, you know, it's negative, you know, he's doing it as a manipulation technique. He's just trying to potentially get them killed, doesn't want them to die, but, you know, what do you think? 'Cause it is a twist, you know.
I don't know. It makes sense. I mean, people will be coming after him, and he knows that how humans are. Humans will protect somebody that's, you know, that asks for asylum. I don't know. It doesn't bother me. I don't know what you mean by what do I feel when I hear that.
He wants to, you know, he's putting them all at risk deliberately. He's not doing this for any other reason except self-preservation. If they all die, it's on his hands. I mean, it's just, you know, it adds a negative motive to what was set up as just hey, I want to hang out with you guys, but if you all die, oops. You know,
it speaks to his selfishness, which we
does.
hear later when Data gets hurt, and he's like, "Oh, I could have been killed," and Picard's like, "Your selfishness is just ramped right up right now. Like, what the hell?"
So you're saying because we expect him to be a selfish dick, him being a selfish dick doesn't faze us, and we just move on.
Yeah, it's not out of character for him.
No, I just, you know, this episode's meant to, it feels like a shift in him, and it was just for me a little bit sad to relive that moment of, you know, but obviously that was him being Q mode rather than whatever. But yeah, I mean, think about how many enemies he has. I guess they've got to know he's human, but I mean, Q probably is gonna, if he stayed human, would run for the rest of his life. You know. I mean, yeah.
But then we hear from Geordi that he's trying to extend the forward field, but it's not designed for something so big. So Picard's like, Q, you'll go down and assist them. And as they're walking, there's another good walk and talk with him and Data. Why does he doubt my ability to help? You know, I'm more valuable than all of you. The captain doesn't doubt your abilities. He doubts your ability to interact with his little trained minions. That's it. I'm more valuable than any of his little trained minions. And Data's like, you must learn to form relationships and work in groups. Well, I don't do well in groups. It's hard to be in a group when you're omnipotent. Yeah. Sure, fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love that.
I mean, like I say, whoever wrote this understands the Q character, and it's evident. You know, there's very little, you know, else you could say. But yes, they're going to try the plan. They're going to try it again. And Q walks in, tries to take charge. Which is, but though that's also nice. Yes, he wants to be the guy in charge, but he's actively trying to help. Like, it's him saying, right, I'm the guy with the big brain. He does have more experience than, you know, theoretically would be. But it's like
my experience exceeds yours by about 1 million times.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he's doing this to help people, like relatively selflessly, because the this isn't about the Calamarain. This is about the planet. You know.
And Geordi's like, well, you'll sit there and adjust the field manually. Well, that's a waste of my talents. Who does he think he is giving me orders? Geordi thinks he is in command here, and he's correct.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised he didn't use Q more, because that is a pointless thing for him to do. Like, any grunt could do it. Like, he's useful, like, he's being petty, because he wants to put Q down, whereas Q would be better suited to any other position. So, But again, hey, they're allowed to have their revenge because Q will be mean to them later, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, Q's responsible for Rule 359, so I mean, you know, he caused the deaths of tens of thousands of people. So I mean, I guess you're allowed to punish him by being bored once or twice.
So they extend the warp field, and Q's like, well, the two parts of the moon have different densities. You're gonna have to account for that. The moon will crumble. Don't say I didn't warn you. Shut up, Q. And yeah. Anyway, it's starting to work, which is great. But then they, basically because they had to lower their shields to do this, the Calamarain attack. So shields up, disengage tractor beam. So it's like, goddamn. It was working though. So
yeah, which is nice that Q all-knowing. You might be all-knowing in terms of theory, but you don't all-knowing in terms of this situation because you haven't thought about it with your all-knowing ability, and that's certainly fun to see.
There was a nice shot of the main impulse engine flaring up too. I love that shot of the back of the ship.
It's beautiful in the show, but as soon as you still frame it, you're like, wow, that is such a painted miniature.
Yeah, but in the show it looked good.
Yeah, but it's remarkable how much it doesn't look as good. But is that a 6-footer or is that a 10-footer? Because I can't tell.
I'm honestly not sure.
Probably the 6-footer.
I would imagine.
But like those aren't the shuttle bays meant to be a brownier color? Like a little bit.
They're kind of a coppery gold or color. Yeah.
Oops. Anyway,
wow.
but the going into the atmosphere is beautiful. That's beautifully remastered.
Well, yeah.
And it's such a we don't need it. Like, but they obviously, I think they had money left over, sort of thing. They don't burn their VFX budgets. Let's put the cool one in.
Yeah. No, that does look good going in the atmosphere. Yeah. But I also appreciate the LCARs on the main viewer with the warp field stress. I think that's a cool graphic. I like that. Yeah. You know how much I like LCARs, so. Yeah. But yeah.
They're back.
Going in the atmosphere, the Calamarain attack again. And basically Data tries to help and gets zapped. Because you saw him when he was trying to help him in 10 forward. There were little jolts of electricity coming at him. But he didn't like full on grab him. And I love how he falls over too. Very android-like on his side and stiff. That was a good choice to do that. Because, could have just been on the back. But
yes, this episode is nothing if not well directed.
Yeah.
Christopher Rollins, again, I bring up why doesn't Starfleet send more than one ship? Well, as opposed to Star Trek Picard and Discovery especially, it takes time to travel between systems. You can't travel the entire quadrant in a day. You really can't. And so even if they sent out a stress call, which they do, and they try and get more ships arriving, it might take a week and a half for the nearest ship, which, oh no, is a Miranda class that's already 100 years old. And what help's that going to be? And then they might not be able to leave straight away. So the Federation space is huge. There's only a few ships, and there's great distances. Yeah. I think in Discovery, in modern Trek, especially in JJ and Discovery, you forget that because they can go anywhere instantly, and that's the exact opposite of the reality of the situation. So, no, and even in TOS, they had to wait for a week to get a message to them back. Distance was real, and it really added to the tension. And they've certainly ruined that in current Trek. Yep.
Not just with the spore drive. We're talking just everything. Like in JJ's movie, they went from Earth to Kronos in a day. Nope. It would take a good week and a half, 2 weeks.
Because we discussed that. It means that if you can get to the Klingon border in 5 hours, then wars should be over in because you can just get you can say all ships to Earth tomorrow. What? Yeah, we're starting a war today. It's like what? It's just ludicrous. I mean, absurd people. But this is an unusual shot. Seeing up. We never see the lack of set, and I was wondering, because there's a little bit of light up there, I think they might have extended it a little bit, but I think it's forced perspective. But it's the actual ceiling, and we never see that. It is empty, but it's fine.
Although in the last episode when the terrorists came on board, you got a nice upshot like that too, where the one guy was on the lower level, the other guy was on the top level, tossed down the explosive.
But this is definitely... revealing the magic a little bit too much because there ain't nothing out there.
Yeah,
that's okay.
But then we come back from the commercial break, and Data is in sickbay.
Brilliant effect on his head when he's lying down. Not so much when he's upright because you can see the bump, but Brilliant line down. Very, very surreal.
We find out the charge knocked out his positronic net. If he was mortal, he'd be dead. And Q's like, he's strong. He'll be fine. I could have been killed. And Picard's like, wow, your selfishness right now is just off the charts.
Yeah.
Turns out with the amount they moved the asteroid, they bought about another orbit at most. We can try again when the moon is at its perigee again.
It's quite a lot they brought, to be fair. One orbit is a day, isn't it?
Yeah. But then when they drop their shields, the Calamarian are going to go after Q again. And, Picard leaves first and says, watch Q, and the security guy grabs him. And then Riker says, yeah, well, they're going to go after Q again. And I love Geordi's response is great. Commander, he's not worth it.
And again, being, very, very un-Starfleet.
There's a whole planet of people that they're trying to save, and there's just one putz that only cares about himself.
Yeah, but Q's been helping. Q's the one that helped them solve it. I mean, again, they have to push back, otherwise it wouldn't feel natural. But I think it's a little bit out of character. They're reacting rather than thinking. Although now you've reminded me. Earlier on when Q's helping, he says, "Why don't you think about the cause, not the solution?" But they never talk about the cause. So why
they do?
Oh, the black hole thing. Sorry, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah. Or just a massive object moving at 90 degrees.
Sorry,
to the
burnt
system.
that sentence. I remember the first bit, I remember the second bit. Sorry.
You were just coming back from the washroom and. Yeah. So.
But he's not a good human, he says. I don't think I'll ever be able to be a good human. Oh dear.
Yeah. So up in the ready room, he's like, I could have been killed. No more me, and no one would miss me, would they? Data sacrificed himself for me. And Picard's like, well, he learned the lessons of humanity well. And he's like, every time I think that I wouldn't have done the same for him, I feel ashamed. I'm a coward without my powers. It's a very kind of one-sided conversation here, but he's basically... He wants to kind of end it all. I think he's sick of being a human already. At one point he says, if, I would die of boredom if I was to remain human.
Yeah, I mean, it's all new to him. Obviously, he could get used to it, but he's just dealing, And then you got the Alan Moraine being mean to him. It's all too much. He can't, can only deal with so many feelings, Although Christopher Rollins jumps back saying, Trekyards will go and by that logic, Starfleet must be ridiculously small for the territory they control. If their most prized ship can't have so much as a single escort on call. They don't control the territory. It's a United Federation of planets. It's a safe area of space that people live, and they have borders that they can monitor, but they don't control territory. That's not how that works.
Yeah, and they are exploring still. Like, there's still a lot of unexplored space. So they're far. That's what the mission of the ship is. That's why there's families on board, because they're not going to be, around star bases and stuff all the time to transfer people.
And most races that have warp-capable planets have their own fleets, have their own ships that do their own thing. The Federation is about trade and sharing knowledge and being friendly. There ain't no territory control in the Federation. It's border defense, but that's different. And Starfleet's designated for that. So, misunderstand again. But that's okay. Hope we help. But yeah, it's a sad scene. But what can Picard say, I guess? But also, we don't want to extend the episode anymore. So I guess that's kind of why. So you would think he might try and talk him out of it more. But again, we've got to move on. So.
Yeah. Speaking of, he goes down to the sickbay, find out that Data's going to be all right, but they're re-uploading his communication protocols. He can't speak right now, his language, whatever. And as Q, she's, I guess, happy to hear that. As he's leaving, he says, for what it's worth, you're a better human than I. So it's a nice thing to say to Data, considering.
But also he says that being human and feeling is overrated. You're lucky not to have them. So he kind of double-edged swords, all that. But it's a good little, very honest speech. And also it's the last thing he thinks he's going to say to somebody, pretty much. But as we call it good and bad, you can definitely see the makeup on him standing up. That is a whole couple of levels of less good. They let themselves down there, but Dylan's good. And so then I'm thinking this scene, why is Q no longer being guarded? He was guarded every other scene, and then he suddenly isn't, even though he would still be.
Yeah.
He would be. There's no reason he wouldn't be if he was the rest of the time.
I didn't even think about that, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
because Picard's say to the security guy, stay with him.
And that was like a scene ago. And then before
Yeah.
that, he was being guarded by Data. So that's, I mean, the plot hole of how does he get to the shuttle bay? He just does. Because I don't see how he could get on a shuttle, have access, no security codes, know how to fight, open the doors, not have force fields, get out, not be detected. I mean, there's no way he's going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I know he's smart and knows everything, but it does not mean he can actually get. You know what I mean? It's a plot hole of okay, he just does, but it's a failed plot point because it's so abrupt. Like often they hear, sir, there's a shuttle launching. Because why don't they say the doors are opening? They don't say. They say they're leaving. It's like, what about the doors?
Yeah, here they say a shuttle's been launched.
Yeah,
on screen.
It's very abrupt.
Find out there's Q's on board. He's going to basically sacrifice himself so that the Enterprise can do what it has to do and not worry about the color moraine. And they're like, prepare to extend shields. Well, I don't want to be rescued. As a human, I would have died of boredom.
Yeah.
And then we find out, this is actually kind of a cool line. It's like, Transporter Room 1, I think he says, beam the shuttle bay back into the bay. Or beam the shuttle back into the bay. And Breaker's like, huh? Well, it's a perfectly good shuttlecraft. So we find out that Transporter Room 1 has the capability to beam a whole shuttle, which is cool. Usually we hear Transporter Room 3. That's where they usually go.
Sure. I mean, they could be beaming it. I mean, they could be beaming via that transporter room into a cargo bay.
It could be a huge cargo transporter. It could be one of the large cargo transporters.
Maybe it's like the evacuation transporter dedicated. Like number 1 is the biggest, less safe, but biggest. But yeah, there's a lot of good, as you said before, one line. And that's the closest Picard's going to come, I guess, to saying we should save him.
Yeah. Fleet Pass Swiftback throws in $2 and says back pain and hunger is a subtle FU to Q. And he also puts another $2 and says, did Q knock the security guard out, maybe? I doubt it. I mean, he's not a trained officer. And the security guy would... See, because, in the sick bay, Picard says, watch him. The security guy grabs him. Next scene is the ready room. So you assume that the security guard took him up to the ready room to talk to Picard. Didn't go in with him, obviously, because you don't have to. And then... the going down to sick bay and then sick bay to the... Where did the security guy go? It is a plot hole, unfortunately, because you would as Picard you'd want him guarded the whole time.
Because it would have been better if he'd been guarded, and then the guy says to so in the same scene where he's walking down the corridor, he says to the guard, "I think I'm hungry again. Which way is it to?" And the guy says, and then Q goes behind him and does a Vulcan neck pinch, and he says, "I'm glad I learned that from."
I was reading Vulcan books like Sutra. I don't do that now.
Yeah, I mean that would have been funnier. I think like he just does it without any thought because he knows lots of stuff. But yeah, definitely one of the plot holes. But that's okay. It's whatever.
So it turns out they can't actually lock on to the ship. They don't know why. They can't extend shields. They can't lock on a tractor beam. Nothing's working, and they don't know why.
But you assume it's the Calmarine, and I like that. There's a nice bit of jeopardy here. And then I still don't know how they do this inside something else effect. You see them in TV, and I know VFX, and I don't necessarily understand how they do this.
1 second. Jeff Jacobs, $2. 100, not bad. I know we can get to 150. No, really. # make Jeff pay. We are at 116 people. Everybody hit that like button if you haven't already. Let's try to get up to as high as we can on the likes. We love doing that.
And Christopher Rowland says there shouldn't be trade or manual labor with infinite power replicators. Christopher, you can't replicate all materials. Like, you can replicate simple stuff, but you can't replicate most complicated stuff. Like, you can't replicate dilithium, deuterium, the stuff you have to mine for and get to power other things. There's a massive situation of needing things.
That's like saying buy a 3D printer, print a 3D printer, then return a 3D printer.
Well, and that, yeah.
You can't print a 3D printer with a 3D printer. You can print some of the parts.
Print me uranium and a Big Mac. And you're like, no. I'm like, exactly.
I can make you a uranium Big Mac. I can only make one. Got to combine the two. That's how it works.
Deliciously deadly. So no, I mean, there's still trade. I mean, there's dozens of episodes where they do trade with people. I mean, last week they said we're trading with these people at the start. That was the entire first line.
Yeah. But then Corbin Bernstein shows up. He's from LA Law. This is a cameo.
His name's Q. Corbin.
Yes, it is.
Bernstein?
It is. Well, the actor's name is Corbin
No,
Bernstein.
now, my only gripe with this guy is that he's clearly trying to be John Delancey, and you can't be John Delancey because he's nowhere near as good. Like, he's a solid okay. I just wish
I like him.
but I wish he was more himself. Like, I wish he had brought something new to it because you can see he could do it, but he went for a mimic rather than something original. You know, it's like I like the Voyager Q because you can still sense that depth.
Yeah.
But in a sad way, he's very original. And like with Susie Plaxton, again, she's not trying to be Delancey. She comes across as a Q. This guy is mimicking. He could have done better. I think he comes off a little bit flat because he's not as good.
Well, they only had John Delancey Q at this point. They didn't.
Oh, sure.
And so, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, he shows up and goes, "Hey, you're doing a selfless act. I've been keeping track of you." And Q's like, "Well, Delancey's." I hate when there's more than one Q. Delancey is like, "I always thought you were in my corner," and the guy's like, "Well, actually, I'm the one that got you kicked out."
Q's face that is great. It's like, you what?
Yep.
You're at my wedding. What?
And he's like, "Well, you know, on the Enterprise, they're trying to save you. You know, they're trying to beam you back, but I stopped them. It's okay." And Q's like, "Well, hey, leave me alone. I just want to deal with this and die." Yeah. And he goes, "Yeah, but there's that small thing about the selfless act." And then Q's like, "Oh, I've learned my lesson, Q." And you got your powers back.
It's very abrupt. I love how abrupt it is.
Yeah. So Q changes his uniform to a captain's uniform, and then blinks the calamarain into his palm of his hand.
And now starts the 1,000-year torture.
Wow.
History books will be all over this. Oh dear.
He was about to torture him, but then he's like, "Oh, no, I'm still watching you." Oh, blows them away.
Although, you know, if they give him powers back, he knows he's not necessarily changed. But I guess they're also all powerful, so they would know if he's changed, and he obviously is changed because of what they say later on. Being all powerful. No, it's a nice little moment.
It's fun, yeah. And then the mariachi band. I'm back. I am immortal again. I'm omnipotent again.
And this is one of the most iconic moments in all of TNG. This appearing. Because it's so radically different, and yet it's fun. This is one of those ones that was on the CD as well. So I've seen this clip, this 10-second clip, 1 billion times. I mean, it's like, you know. And I wonder if Delancey's playing. Because
I don't know.
It's a good audio dub if he isn't. Like, it's very well integrated. And Cigars, although I love how you actually got the fade location. Like, you actually got the Cigars and not. I love it you caught the... Because you can see
I tried to.
Yeah, very well done.
Then we got the girls, and I love how Riker's like, "I don't need your women, Q. I can get my own." He doesn't say the last part.
Fancy women.
Yeah, I can get my own real woman. So he throws them at Worf instead.
Oh, he's clearly loving it. I like the subtext of, "Well, I'll have them."
Yeah. And Picard's like, "That's enough. Get rid of it, Q. All of it."
I
And then he gets rid of all of it. And he's wearing a captain's uniform, and the look on Picard's face, like, "Oh, he didn't learn a goddamn thing."
And Riker literally gives him a full up and down, like, yeah. I don't know why Picard's so grumpy here. I know they don't know he saved the moon, but he's a little bit mean here, a little bit aggressive here. Like, this is the god entity. You could get something you wanted, you know. Like, at this moment, I would expect him to say, "That's great, Q, but could you save the planet now?" And I already did. Data? Confirmed.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, thank you, Q, but could you stop being, like, you know...
Now get off my ship.
Yeah.
Everything goes, "Before I leave, I want to give Data a gift."
Although, how good does Delancey look in that uniform?
Oh, it looks good, yeah.
Really good in that uniform.
"You're not going to make me human, are you?" "No, I would never be so mean to you."
Oh, well, yeah, that too.
Think of this as a going away present. And then he winks out, and then we got the famous laugh that you see all the time.
Yeah, one of the all-time best TV laughs.
Yeah. Data, what are you laughing at? "I do not know."
Well, I almost feel sad that Geordi zoned him out of it, because you got a sense that he would keep laughing. He's in this kind of like trance. But boy, Brent. I mean, I love the bit we can see. I mean, I've met Brent a couple of times now, and you can see the bit where he shifts into, oh, I can let go now. I'm Brent having fun. But that's why it's so powerful when you see the face cut right back into Data, and it's like, that is acting. He's so in control of all of his face. You can see the exact moments of the transition. I absolutely love that sort of nuance. It's really, like, he does it so well. And you talk about good casting. That is really good at face acting. But yeah, very, very nice moment.
And the planet beeps them and says, "Hey, thanks for doing that, guys. We really appreciate it. Everything's back to normal now. Thank you for." And everybody's like, "What?" Then they check the moon's apogee, and it's a perfect circle. It's back in its perfect orbit, and the final line essentially is, "Perhaps there is a side of humanity in Q after all."
And then Q in a cigar smoke says, "Nah."
Yeah. Oh, I love that scene. Yeah, I forgot that was there. I was about to just not stop doing the screen caps, and like, oh no, yeah.
Well, it's definitely an afterthought, or a very CG smoke, but it's okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
But like I said, I love the idea that he now felt feelings. Now
That must be some good weed. That looks like a big old blunt, and Picard's like looking at it like, whoa.
Yeah. Well, it's Q weed. It's QW.
Queed. It's Queed.
Yeah.
That's it, guys. It's the end of the episode.
One of our quickest reviews. Because actually, when you watch it, there's not actually that much in this episode beyond the one-liners and the fun little moments. Because, we're done.
And it flows really well. I mean, the pacing's good in this. It does seem like a lot of long scenes, but they are kind of broken up a little bit. But yeah, it's fun. And anytime Q's around, I think it's a good episode because
it feels
he was a good character.
Well, it feels like one long afternoon.
Yeah,
like one. It almost feels in real time, almost, which is not often a feeling you get.
Yeah. That's a very good point, actually.
Yeah. Let me get the review score sheet then. So now, guys, as Stuart would tell you, this is now your time to give us your scores, both for all of TNG and of Season 3, which, as we know, is a good season. And any Super Chat scores, which would be great as we start to close out. $20 would be great. So 4 5s, 2 10s, etc. would be great. And Stuart will read out the Super Chat reviews. I'll read out the non-Super Chat reviews. So if you want Stuart to say what you think, now is the time.
I'm the man. The Captain Man.
Yes. And he earned it, unlike Q did.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Anywho, since you went first yesterday with your score, I'll go first today. That's fine. Like I said, a fun episode. I love Q. The shuttle thing. Corbin Bernstein, I like him too, so that was good. Nice little cameo appearance there, and then the whole plot with the asteroid and the visuals of the small little ship with the big moon. I mean, there's some really great stuff in this episode, and the Q and Data moments together are fantastically done. So
they understand the characters, and it just comes through so much.
Yeah. So as a result of all that, for season 3, I'm going to give this a solid 8 out of 10. I don't want to place it too high because I know other stuff that's coming up in season 3. Good, so for all of TNG, it's still going to get a good score for me. It's going to get a 7. I wanted to say 7.5 originally, but I'm going to go with a 7 out of 10 for all of TNG.
And I was expecting you to say like a 9 this season and 8.5 for all. I'm surprised how low you've gone.
Well, I'm trying to take into account what you said like last time. It can't be all 9s and 10s. Season 3. I'm trying to be measured a little bit, but I really do enjoy this one. Like, this is one that
it's super enjoyable. It's a one note tune, but it's one of the funnest rides, you know.
Hmm.
Like it's all memorable moments, no solid ground, because memorable moments can keep it going. Like it's it's packed full of them. So it's a weird one. It's yeah. So I was trying to rewatch it from a very like thinking point of view. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All this one's could have been a two-parter. The story of.
We say that a lot. This one should have been a
Well, it
two-part.
would be nice,
Yeah. So yeah, that's my score. So now it's your turn. And your turn out there as well. We've got some super chat scores coming in, which is great. But if you have any more, let us know. And we also have that last super chat slot, so keep that in consideration.
Oh, the famous one. No, yeah, it's a really fun episode. I mean, Delancey is the standout. He basically owned the episode. It's not a very dense episode, so we've said everything.
Yeah.
There really isn't anything else to say. It's got good lines. It's the same sort of scenes again and again, but it's fun. The Data thing really gives it a grounding that it wouldn't always have. The bit with the asteroid is very good, simple Star Trek fun.
Mm-hmm.
Very one-dimensional. That's absolutely fine. The mariachi band's amazing. Everyone gets to abuse Q except Troy. Doesn't get anything to do again, which is sad, but that's okay. But the Data stuff again is really good, and I like Delancey was. I get the sense Delancey was given this or invited back and accepted, and the director wanted to put him in a different place, and Delancey probably was defaulting something else in the scenes, and the director was pushing him out of that because he'd been a certain way for three episodes, 4 hours. But you get the sense that he was out of his comfort zone because he was, and it comes across, and it's really tangible in performance. Like, it feels so genuine. I know Delancey's a good actor, but I get the sense he was also directed into that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's definitely a director's episode as well. I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna have to match your scores. There's not really much else you can. You know what I mean?
You're gonna match both?
Yeah, I mean it. Yeah.
Stop the press! My God, the universe is gonna collapse. We're exactly both. Because we have a little variance at least once or twice. Like for one or the other, I mean.
Yeah, because if this was in season 2, it'd be 9 out of 10. If it was season 1, it'd be 10 out of 10. But season 3, there are better episodes. Because this is a very, like I say, very simple story, but it does what it's trying to do.
Well, this wouldn't work in season 1 though, because we just wouldn't have enough build-up for Q and characters and stuff. So.
No, sure, but you know what I mean, as a quality episode. But there's so much good TNG. I could probably maybe push to 8 of all TNG. But there's a lot of I would rather watch a good sci-fi adventure over this. But for what this is, it's basically perfect. But this is not what I watch Trek for. It's a good side, but it's not the main. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I'll always choose Yesterday's Enterprise over this, but I know why this is amazing in its own way.
Yes. This is one of the things that does make Trek for me, though, is these characters, and they're all kind of doing their character things. Beverly's nice, but she's also, a little bit... I don't know. It's a good character piece for everybody, and I think that says a lot about Star Trek. So.
Well. I mean, I don't like how Geordi and Beverly and Guinan were, so I would...
I kind of like that. I like the way they treated Q like that. I think it was appropriate for how he's looked down on us all these years, or them. So, we got a lot of great super chats here, so let me read these scores off. Ozzy Medeiros, again, with $5. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For this episode, it gets an 8.5 out of 10, and a 10 out of 10 for Trekyards.
That's pretty high. Thank you.
Dethorian, $10.
Ooh, thank you.
9 out of 10 for season 3, 8 out of 10 for TNG. Great episode. Q's introspection hit me in the feels, and what a great development episode for Data as well. Episode continued to deliver from the very beginning to the very end. Yep. Eugene, 250 rubles. 9.5 out of 10. 10 base, -1 for weak acting at the beginning, plus half for no Wesley. Oh yeah, I never realized there's no Wesley in this episode. Amazing episode. Fleet Paw Swiftback, $5. 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10 Qs. Season 3, 8 out of 10 Qs. TNG, funny episode. It works. Awesome one-liners, good visuals, and Q is just amazing. 10 out of 10 for Cap and Sam. Aw, thank you. You don't deserve a 10 out of 10. Zeraxis, $10. Guess I'm getting here right at the end, but I like this one. Good little bit of world building, and I think you could argue we see some changes in Q stick. 8.5 out of 10 for me. Also saw your email, Sam. Thanks. And Jarzia, $5. 8.5 for TNG and Season 3. One of the best Q episodes. It says something that it was Data who taught Q the most about being human, through which he learned humanity. Or humility, sorry. Yeah. And that was one of the amazing things about this. Even when Picard said, he's learned his humanity well, with the way he tried to save your life. I love that. Because Data's he aspires to be human so much that he's more... I got cut off, didn't I?
More
Where did
human.
I get cut off?
That's what he said. More human. Yeah.
More human than human sometimes.
Yeah, it's definitely...
It's like Worf. It's like Worf is the most Klingon ever, because he's not really Klingon, but he strives so much to be Klingon that he's more Klingon than a lot of Klingons. So...
No, it's true. I think it's definitely potentially Q's best episode, because he's actually a real character. He's genuinely a character. I think about his other appearances, he's either just being mean, just being silly, just being a foil. This is his... I mean, can you think of a better episode for Q, as the character? I mean, Better Dance, he was like, wait, I get 26 pages? I want 26 pages of this script? Damn.
Yeah, but this is Q, not as Q, because he's not a Q.
But it's still Q the character.
I know, but I like the arrogance and the omnipotence that the omnipotence brings to him. Like Cupid is a good one.
Which one's that?
That's the one where they go to Robin Hood.
That is good. Yeah, but that's not really about him. It's about the other ones.
Yeah, I know.
He's fun in it, but he's fun in it. It's not about him.
Yeah, I guess.
You know what? I'm gonna go with my original gut and up it for an 8 for all TNG, because that was my original gut. And I was like, you gave a 7. I can't go higher than you, but I have to. I have to give it a top 20%.
See, we couldn't be the same.
Yeah.
So don't stop the presses. Don't mark it on the calendar.
Restart the presses. Restart the presses.
Fleet Paw Swiftback puts in $2.
Thank you.
And 20 out of 10 just for Cap.
Ooh.
Y'all are definitely 10s. What does that mean? What did I do?
He loves you lots, is what he's saying.
Ooh.
You're 20 out of 10. He wants you close.
On a scale of
kiss. And give 10.
Scale 1 to 10. I'm at 20 for him.
It's a good number.
Did you read any of the non-super chat?
I didn't. I was going to make a brief point, then I'll jump back. It would have been nice, though, to have seen another episode where he was maybe a partial Q. He was... I don't know if he was the one who was pregnant, he had to give birth to a secondary life form, and he only had, partial powers. So he would, he had some basic, but he could only affect, his own body or affect, a little bit of matter. And he, it would have been nice to have a sequel to this almost, but where we know him more. Or, he's been dampened by another alien race. He still has some powers, but not galactic powers. That would have been fun. To see that again, fully 3-dimensional of him.
And I'm sure there's lots of Q books as well, where he's probably really good.
Yeah. Oh well, hey, actually, you know what? I'm wrong. His best appearance might be Q versus Spock. Those are really good audiobooks.
They are.
They're really bloody good. First one where it's Q versus Spock. Second one it's Q versus Spock, with Q playing Spock and Spock playing Q. Oh my god, it's so clever. And I stumbled upon those and it made my month. As you can imagine, it was pretty special. But let's look at some non-super chat scores. 8.2, 9, 7, 7.5, 8.5, 7, 7.5, 7, 8, 7, 9, 6, Dan gives 6. 7, Devereaux. Devereaux 8, yep, it. 9.5, Jeff. 8.2, 7.5.
77 changed his score at one point.
Yeah. So pretty consistent though.
8.5 or something.
Much love, but not one of the best things ever. Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zaraxis, $2. A captain out of captains for the captain. What?
That's good.
I'm so confused right now.
I like that. That's good.
That's
Nice.
on the whole person. Yay.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Awesome, guys. Awesome. Tomorrow we're taking a day off. Let's do some real life things. But we'll be back on your screens. The other 2 days we'll probably do a non-TNG and then a TNG because these are fun. But you know, you don't always. Not everyone comes. Oh, the regulars do. We love you to bits. You guys are keeping the channel going, but try and get some other people as well. You'll know when we know. And then the weekend, my birthday, yay!
Yay!
And then the weekend after will be our drunk live, which I'm excited about.
Yeah,
that'll be a ton of fun. I think we'll both just take off the calendar day, and that is this. Nothing else happening that day. There you go. I'm gonna have snacks prepared. I think, munchable and munchy things, and like a pizza ready to be cooked after and stuff. So remember last time I had a meal half ready to go. I think I made sausages while drunk. I remember I was frying them while everything was a bit blurry, but I could do it. And I got onto the sofa and I watched a movie because I'm not tired. It's 2 a.m. I'm not tired, so I watched that one with the guy from The Office, the first Office, the English Office.
Yeah, I'm trying to think
Ricky
of the guy's
Gervais,
name.
there you go.
Yes.
Ricky Gervais is a dentist and he meets dead people who he helps people. Well, that's cool. And I was like, so I watched that drunk from 2 to 4 a.m. as I sobered up. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it. It's a great 2 a.m. movie.
Yeah, hopefully I ended up on the bathroom floor and almost died. So
What,
hopefully, yeah, for our last birthday one. Yeah.
No, I mean just last time. I mean just the last time I did this.
No. Last time we did it earlier in the day.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I mean that's right.
Yeah. Which is fine. But the last birthday one was killer, literally. So I can't do that again.
And that was our pilot drunk as well.
It's all up to you guys. So I guess I don't know. Don't kill me, but at the same time, super chats are good. So
as we say, we have no power in that live.
we were like Q in this episode. We have no power over you.
The chat giveth, the chat taketh away.
The chat killeth,
and the chat allows to pay renteth. It's one giant circle of life. But thanks, guys. Appreciate it. This was good. Sorry if I've talked less. I've got a throat thing, and it hurts a bit, so talking...
and ironically, my throat's been feeling a lot better today. I haven't been coughing as much, so... Weird. Yeah. If I pass it on to you via Skype.
I mean, sure.
Take it.
Oh.
Sounds dirty. Anyway, guys, this has been fun. Thank you for watching. So no live tomorrow. We'll see you again on Thursday with something. And yeah, thank you for joining us. Thank you for the super chats. It's been great. And it looks like Zaraxis has the last super chat slot. So
Makes sense. There you go. All
right,
everyone. Till next time. He's Captain Foley.
And he's Commander Cockings.
And he was.
And we're Team Trekyards.
And we are. Bye, guys.